Welcome to the first of our modules in our course on housing finance. My name is Satish Mehta and I'm the Chief Evangelist of Athena eLearn. I have spent my entire career in two industries, housing finance, having worked with HDFC Ltd for over 25 years, and then as the founding Managing Director of India's first Credit Information Bureau. I am going to be your facilitator in several of the modules that you will see going ahead in this course and in the courses that we offer on credit information. This module, which is an introductory module to our course on housing finance, will of course introduce you to the various sub-modules that we are going to offer in the course that we are doing in housing finance. Also, talk a little about the history of housing finance and why it is important for you as a housing finance practitioner, a potential borrower, or anybody interested in this particular industry should do these courses. Way back around independence in 1948, a gentleman was sailing to England to do his further studies. He spent several years studying there, and in the course of those years, he noticed what were then called building societies in the UK. Building societies, in a very simple manner, were institutions that took deposits from individuals like you and me and then gave loans to people who wanted to buy, construct, expand or repair their houses. It was a concept that was completely alien to India in those days. He returned from his studies and started his career, which was very illustrious, including organizations like ICICI and HDFC Ltd. When he retired from ICICI, this concept which he has observed and liked in UK when he was studying resurfaced in his head, and that led to the formation of India's first housing finance company, HDFC Ltd, otherwise called Housing Development Finance Corporation Limited. We need to take one step back before we talk of the history after that, and that is that in the early 70s, there were two institutions that used to give selectively loans to certain categories of people. One of them was the Life Insurance Corporation of India, which, having access to long-term funds, was able to invest that in long-term loans to people who wanted houses. But there were limitations. They were giving it only to those people who had life insurance policies. It was limited, it was not easily available, and it was not retail in the sense that you and I understand it today. Another government organization called the Housing and Urban Development Corporation, in short HUDCO, which was primarily mandated to construct houses specifically for lower income and middle income people, also started giving credit to people who wanted to buy those houses. And that was the genesis of the first steps taken in giving housing loans in India to people to buy their houses. As HDFC started doing housing loans and started succeeding in reaching out to the masses, giving loans to the middle class people who wanted to actually live in the house, they became a Me Too movement also. A lot of other housing finance companies were established in India, primarily by the banks, but also in the private sector. Fast forward, we today have 90 housing finance companies. We have almost all the banks and the NBFCs giving housing loans, and interest rates have fluctuated from the start of 10.5%. They went up in the 90s to almost 13-14%, which is unaffordable, and today probably are at their best in the lowest figure that we can think of. Housing loans today are being made available at 7.5, 8%.